Hello and welcome to one more episode of the Digital Transformation Show, a local company that has expanded worldwide, right? You were mentioning so many countries that are now part of the pool of customers that you have right now. Why do you think that you became a worldwide company?
So for the first many years, we focused just on Denmark. We had a local sales force. We had cars driving around. We visited Danish companies again and again. We were definitely leading the Danish market. At some point, especially when I took over in 2014, we kind of took a status on everything and we wanted to grow more. And we pretty much owned the whole Danish market, so we couldn't grow much more from there.
So Mark, IPAPER works in a subscription base, you were mentioning before, and this makes it available for people who don't want to develop something on their own, something in-house. So how does this subscription work? What are the licenses?
So our main model is based on you having a number of catalogs available, and the pricing model is basically based on how much automation you want and how many end users you want to expose to the solution. So say you're a supermarket chain, you have 1 million visitors every single month who wants to see your catalog. That is the main, the main value metric that we track you on, 1 million sessions. You might also have a different chain that doesn't have that many end user sessions that sees the catalog, but you have a lot of catalogs and you need all of them to be interactive. You don't want to do it manually. In that case, we can automate everything for you. And obviously we can combine the two. So if you have a lot of different end user sessions seeing the catalogs and you want to automate everything, we can combine the two. So those are pretty much the two things that you buy into.
Okay, so for people who don't understand the concept or who have never heard about it, what do you mean by automating this process?
So imagine that you're a supermarket chain in Germany and you have 500 different stores all across the country. And since Germany is so big, these different stores, they actually have different products on offer every single week. So if you have a weekly leaflet with the different offers, that leaflet isn't going to be the same for all of these stores. So you've pretty much got 500 different types of leaflets every single week. Each of these weekly leaflets has to be digitized. You have to make them interactive so you can click on the products. You have to put them on the website for the right store. So when we go to the store's website, you're going to see the right catalog at the right time. This whole process used to be manual, but we've automated all of it. This chain, when they actually create the catalog, rather than just sending it for the printing, they send it to us as well. We automate the whole process, figuring out what store is this leaflet for, how long is it active for, where should it be put on the website. So they pretty much don't have to think about anything. It just runs automatically.
So how does the technology behind the software works? Is it some kind of image recognition? Is it text recognition? How does it work?
So it's kind of simple. We get a PDF file that's like the main source material that we need. We take the PDF file, we split it into atoms. So we've got all of the different pages. We've got the text on the pages. We've got all of the images. And based on this data, we detect the products inside of the catalog. And we've got your product data, typically an ERP system access, where we get the product data from you. We mix the two together so we know that a given product is on page 7. We've got all of the product data from you. We mix them together so when you click on the product in the solution, it's added to a basket. And we've got the right price, the right inventory status, and so forth.
How the software actually has an impact on your customers.
Yeah. So typically what we do doesn't really replace something that they do directly today. So we are not necessarily optimizing something that they do today. We enable them to do something new. If they print a lot of these catalogs offline, the cost involved in printing them and actually distributing them, so sending them out, both in terms of economics and climate, it's huge. And the cost for a product like IPAPER is like a rounding error in the total economics of producing catalogs. When it comes to the effect of catalogs, a lot of these companies don't actually measure it directly because the catalogs aren't necessarily the place where you buy the product. It's the place where you become inspired to buy the product at some point. If you're a supermarket chain, you might read a weekly leaflet and you don't buy it right there. But you look at this can of tomatoes and all of a sudden you think, I need some gazpacho this weekend. But you don't buy the product at this moment. You only buy it a couple of days later when you're at the supermarket and you pick up this can of tomatoes. So it's difficult to measure the direct impact. But if you have a whole distribution of these catalogs, you print them, you send them out all over the world, and you replace that with your iPaper solution, that's an optimization of nearly 100%. Our cost is so low compared to the cost of actually printing and distributing the catalogs.
Makes sense, Mark. Also, you have a developing concept right now inside of IPAPER, which I've heard about before, that is product discovery. You used the word inspiring and inspiration before. What is this all about? Product discovery and inspiring your final clients, final users.
Yeah, so product discovery is the concept that goes on in the end consumer's mind when they're looking for products. You might go to a website and know exactly what you need. Say you're looking for a new keyboard for a computer that you bought. You might go to your local electronics store website, search for a specific keyboard model, you're going to find a result, you're going to buy it, and everything is good. Product discovery supports you when you don't know exactly what you're looking for. So say you go to that same website and you know you need a keyboard, but you have no idea what exactly you're looking for. In this case, you might search for keyboard and you're going to get 127 different results. And like, where do you go from there? What do you choose? You might not know anything about keyboards. You just get a grid of results of different keyboards and you're left to your own. That is not a good product discovery experience. If we compare that to say IKEA and then take the analog stores, most IKEAs have two different stories. They've got the warehouse and they've got the inspirational upper floor. And say you go straight into the warehouse, you've got all of these rows, columns, aisles of products. And if you know the product you're looking for, you're going to go to aisle F, row 25, column B, and you can pick your product, you can buy it. But if say you've got a kid, 2 years old, you need to decorate his room, and you really don't know what you're looking for, you're looking to find out what you're looking for. In that case, you're going to go to the first story, you're going to go to the kids section, you're going to look at all of these model rooms and just look around. And you still don't know what you're looking for, but the moment you spot that lamp on the wall, you know, I need that lamp. And now you're going to go to warehouse and buy it. And this is the role that catalogs might play in that they inspire you. So even though you don't buy it directly at that upper floor, the inspirational floor, you see the product, you become aware that you need it, and then you go buy it.
So it's sort of taking the showrooms of traditional stores to a catalog or to an online shopping experience.
It's pretty much a layer on top of the typical web store, which is optimized completely for those consumers that know what they're looking for. And we help those consumers who might not know exactly what they're looking for. But if they're interested in, say, a category or a brand or a concept, using the catalogs or some of our other products, you are able to create these inspirational environments where you can kind of guide the user towards the products that you think they're looking for.
I would like to go back a bit to talk about retail and a direct sales company, most specifically the latter, because there are many people working on this industry that come sort of in a chain. So we have the company, we have the sales representatives, and we have the end users or the final clients.
Yeah.
How do you think both the sales representatives and the final clients, the final buyers, are benefiting from IPAPER?
What would typically happen is you have these representatives, they receive catalogs, they're going to walk door to door, knock the doors, show the catalog, talk about the products, because these representatives, they're really the experts in these products. So they don't sell them themselves directly, they're representative of some other company who sells the products. So in this case, the catalogs really support this journey by being digital, because the reach by being digital is so much higher than the old analog way of walking around. Especially in these COVID-19 days where you're not even allowed, it's not safe to walk around, you can still do the same business online by sharing these catalogs on social media, on different networks, sending them by mail, text messages to all of your friends. And you can still be the same expert that you used to be.
Mark, you started saying that pandemic had benefited somehow many companies, including yours, but have you heard from your customers, for example, what the impact has been for them?
Yeah, so we've spoken to multiple of them, and a story we get in different variations is international companies that have a lot of different markets, and some of these markets are highly digital and some of them are very traditional. And from the headquarters, they want to move these to the digital direction, but those markets might sometimes be lagging behind. The whole pandemic has forced some of these countries to change like the way they approach sales, because stores have been shut down, malls have been shut down, you can't walk around, so they're kind of forced to go digital, and they have done so. The interesting thing is when we ask some of these customers, so when the pandemic is over, do you believe these markets are going to go back to the old ways? We typically get kind of a smile, like, no, they've seen the light, they've seen the future, and they're definitely going to stay digital. So in that way, I think the pandemic has actually moved the whole digitization process some years forward.
Maybe the global market needed some kind of push or boost to go fully into this digital transformation process.
I think a lot of these markets, they've got a process that has worked. It has worked for like different decades. It's worked so long. And to change that is a huge risk that you're undertaking. You've got something that works, and you can try to slowly migrate, but you might have consumers that are not really that digital. So trying to push that transition can kind of hurt your business, and that's a chance to take. And even though I may believe that this is definitely the future, it can be difficult to persuade these markets from like a high central quarter in a different country that this is going to work for you as well.
And I believe that you have semi-new feature that it's the WhatsApp checkout possibility within your catalogs.
Yep.
And you experienced that this new feature opened up in several markets that use WhatsApp more than probably the Danish market itself.
Oh yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about this discovery process of new markets due to a new feature that you released?
So we've never really been that big in Latin America until a couple of years ago, when a potential client approached us and was interested in our catalog solution. And we ended up selling to them. They began using it. And all of a sudden they asked us, can we check out the basket for WhatsApp? And I got to be honest, we were like, WhatsApp checking out a basket? Like, that's a chat network.
What is that?
How do you check out a basket? And all of a sudden we realized that the business model is that these representatives would send the catalog to all of their friends. Those friends would add products to the basket and initiate a chat with the parent company. And through this chat, you were now talking to a salesperson at the company where you could actually check out. And so they wanted to be able to initiate a WhatsApp chat dialogue within your catalog. So we found a workaround, and we made like a quick prototype that made it work. And over a couple of months, we made the actual integration, so you're now able to have a full basket and check out the content through WhatsApp. Ever since doing that, this original company has obviously used it quite a lot, but we started seeing different companies from the Latin American markets simply approaching us and saying, what they've got, we want that as well. And so all of a sudden, business just grew more or less exponentially over the last couple of years. And today, WhatsApp is one of our main growth.